The first Passover in an Israelite temple goes back to the first temple, completed in about 960 BC. King David chose the location, but it was his son Solomon who ordered it to be built. The Old Testament records that Solomon's temple was an incredible achievement, built through the labors of some 180,000 workers, artists, and craftsmen. However, not long after its completion, the temple suffered a series of assaults. Its treasures were plundered over the years by the Egyptians and Assyrians. Then in 587 BC, the temple was totally destroyed by the Babylonians. About 70 years later, after the Babylonians were defeated by the Persians, Cyrus the Great of Persia allowed the Hebrew people to return home to rebuild the Great Temple in Jerusalem. This temple was appropriately known as the Second Temple. Then Alexander the Great conquered Judea in 332 BC. After his death, Jerusalem and the Second Temple became part of the Ptolemaic Kingdom of Egypt. Then in about 200 BC, Judea came under the authority of the Seleucid Empire of Syria. In 167 BC, Antiochus IV of Syria committed the ultimate offense against the Jewish people when he erected an altar to Zeus and slaughtered pigs there to defile the place. The Second Temple was looted and its religious services stopped. A Judean rebel group called the Maccabees rose up against the Seleucid Empire to reclaim the honor of Judaism. The revolt was a series of battles over 7 years, where the outnumbered Maccabees became known for their guerrilla warfare tactics. In 164 BC, the Maccabees finally reclaimed Jerusalem and ritually cleansed the temple. The temple again became the religious pillar of the Israelites. This 103-year time period of relative independence is known as the Hasmonean dynasty, a period which ended in 63 BC at the Roman conquest of Jerusalem under Pompey the Great. Judea was turned into a client state kingdom of the Roman Empire, which began the collaboration between the Romans and Herod the Great. In around 20 BC, Herod the Great began a massive rebuild of the temple in order to make it bigger and better. Herod's temple in Jerusalem during the spectacle of the Passover feast must have been quite an experience for a 12-year-old boy from the small town of Nazareth. When the feast was ended, as they were returning, the boy Jesus stayed behind in Jerusalem. His parents did not know it, but supposing him to be in the group, they went a day's journey. But then they began to search for him among their relatives and acquaintances. And when they did not find him, they returned to Jerusalem searching for him. After 3 days, they found him in the temple, sitting among the teachers, listening to them and asking them questions. And all who heard him were amazed at his understanding and his answers. And when his parents saw him, they were astonished. And his mother said to him, "Son, why have you treated us so? Behold, your father and I have been searching for you in great distress." And he said to them, "Why were you looking for me? Did you not know that I must be in my father's house?" And they did not understand the saying that he spoke to them. And he went down with them and came to Nazareth, and was submissive to them. And his mother treasured up all these things in her heart. And Jesus increased in wisdom and in stature and in favor with God and man.